Acha ji, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Unfortunately, there was some error in my internet connection. So I'm going to repeat today's broadcast right now. So sorry for the inconvenience you people have suffered. So I'm going to share the screen again. Just wait a while. Okay. Okay, ji. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So here I'm going to start my today's inconvenience caused to all. Maybe there was some internet connection error due to which I have to restart my today's session. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. As I told you guys that I'll be inshallah delivering and sharing different videos on supply chain related topics and exciting topics. So here I am with the very key and important, significant topic that is for international trade, the payments and international trade. So, actually, this is a very comprehensive and detailed topic. So, I have divided it into three parts, and today is the first part, and then in future, inshallah, I'll be sharing second or third part so that my students and the viewers can better understand the whole process, because this is some technical thing, you know. Okay, so here I am to describe different payment methods in the international trade. So first of all, you have to see that there is a mismatch between the buyers and sellers objectives. Why there's a difference? Definitely, buyer want to pay the amount against the goods bought later stage at a later stage, while on the other hand, the seller wants the money upfront, right? So they want cash in hand immediately after selling sales of the goods, right? So definitely there is a big mismatch. So international organizations and globally it was discussed and implemented that there are some methods which should be uniformly accepted by buyers and sellers internationally for the global trade, right? So to minimize the gap between the seller and buyer's objectives, uh, some methods have been established, right? So what are those methods? I will tell you. The number one is cash transfer, a bank transfer or wire transfer. Number two is cash against documents. This is also called DPR site. Third one is DA, documents against acceptance. And the fourth one is letter of credit at site or use in LC. So the first one, before I describe the details of the different methods involved in international trade, I will tell you there are different determinants through which one has to decide what method they should adopt, right, in the buyer seller transaction. The first one is buyer seller relationship that should be taken into consideration. If you have customer over 20 years, 25 years, then you can adopt a DP at site. You can also give them credit for 90 days, 120 days as well. If you see the buyer's credit rating, it is good. You can allow credit to them. Competition is there. You have to follow the competition. If your neighboring country is offering 60 days credit, 90 days credit, then for the same product, definitely you have to do it in the same fashion. If you're making some unique products, customized products, then you can charge premium, then you can charge advance payment, right? Country conditions. If like African countries, Ethiopia, and other poor countries, the political situation is not good, economic conditions is not good, then you should ask for the advance payment or LC at site. Cash flow consideration. If your company as a seller is not, financially liquid, sound, so you can ask for the advance payments. And if you're working on the LC, definitely the transaction cost is going to be high. So these are the determinants through which you have to choose the method while doing international transaction of the trade. Okay, so the first method that is implemented or used in the international trade is basically the cash in advance. So this is a simple mechanism. Buyer pays through wire transfer, bank transfer, credit transfer. That is a method of electronic funds transfer. It is also called EFT, from one person or entity or organization to the another against the exchange of the goods, right? Okay. Immediately after the payment is made from the buyer, the seller ships the goods. So there is no risk for the seller except the order cancellation. Cash in advance is the very best method, very easy method. Against this, all the documents can be sent to the customer or buyer directly. No need to involve any bank. It requires little or no credit understanding of the buyer. The bottom line is you have to bring the money back after shipping out the material from any country, right? So this is a very simple mechanism, but this is always very difficult to agree upon between the buyer and the seller against cash in advance. All the time, it is not possible. So now the second method is site collection. It is also called DP at site. I mean documents against payment, and documents cash against document, right? CAD it is also called. So here is a very simple flow I have prepared for you people so that you can better understand what is happening if any transaction is taken place on the DP or CAD basis. So what the first step is, there is an agreement or contract of sale between the buyers and seller. After the agreement is signed or contract is signed, seller produces the goods, seller arranges the shipment, right? Simultaneously, he gets all the documents, including commercial invoice, packing list, bill of lading, and other documents. All the original documents then sent to the from the seller to the local bank of the seller. Then local bank transfer these documents to the foreign bank. Foreign is basically the buyer's bank. Foreign bank is basically the buyer's bank, and buyer's bank, after getting the goods, they get the retirement letter from the buyer, and immediately after receiving the retirement letter, foreign bank debits the account of the buyer and deliver the original documents to the buyer. So this is a very safe transaction as far as the seller is concerned, right? So there is as such no risk about the payment. In this case, in CAD case or DP case, a buyer normally pays before the receipt of the actual cargo. Now, the second method is time collection, right? So, time collection is also called the DA, that is Documents Against Acceptance. Uh, in this case, immediately after the contract of sale is made between the seller and buyer, the same flow will be adopted. The seller will arrange the production, arrange the shipment, and simultaneously, all the original documents will be routed to the local bank. Then the local bank will transfer these original document to the foreign bank. Foreign bank will get the acceptance of the promissory note or bill of exchange from the buyer, and after acceptance, the original document will be handed over to the buyer. In this case, normally buyer pays after the receipt of the goods, because in this case, the seller is going to allow 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or 120 days credit to the customer or buyer. So this is the basic difference between the CAD and time collection. Now here I make the documentary and time collection process transaction flow, so that you can understand in a more simple or better way how this works. The seller, this first of all, the contract of sale is made between the buyer and the seller. Seller ships the goods. Seller presents the documents to the local bank. Local bank sends the documents to the foreign bank. Foreign bank is basically the buyer's bank, and local bank is basically the seller's bank. Foreign bank releases the documents against. Now there are two conditions. One is DP and one is representing the DA. So in DP, payment is made if the documents against payment. And if the DA term is there, then acceptance, I mean the promissory note is taken with buyer signature, and that is an undertaking that okay, the buyer is going to pay the amount within 30, 60, 90, or 120 days, what is agreed upon between the buyer and the seller according to the sales agreement, right? So DA terms basically represent more risk to the seller, because they are going to allow the credit for a longer period to the buyer. After that, the foreign wires funds to the local bank, and local bank pays to the seller. So this is basically the detailed, longer period method, time collection, and this is also a risky unless you have a good relationship with your. Yes, in this case, another thing is that before. Certifying the Form E in case of export transaction, the bank is asking for the credit report of the buyer if the seller is going to allow the DA term, because they have to see the credit rating of the after a agreed time period. So that's all for today. That was the part one basically, and hopefully you have enjoyed it. I'll be sharing more related videos soon with you, and so shortly I'll be sharing some more videos with you. Thank you so much. Have a nice day and good night.